let's start the episode. Let's go.
Oh, right. Okay. Is this where I keep quiet?
Jazz hands.
It's always not here to dance with, is she?
I know. So yeah, I'm too focused at making sure that I actually capture what's going on that I'm just like completely ignoring the mayhem that's on Discord.
This is the issue. This is the issue. I need my dance buddy.
Anyway, welcome to Catching Out, the podcast that takes dodgeball super seriously and apparently it's a comedy podcast as well. So hey. So yeah, you're in for good content tonight because it's just Colm and I tonight. Zoe's unable to join us, so we'll try and go through everything in a timely manner. No guarantees. We've done everything. Well, nearly done everything, right? So we've had the three of us on the pod, and they equal about 2 hours. We've had just Zoe and I, and that goes well past 2 hours. We'll see how this one goes tonight, and then we'll figure out who's the cause for too much time. This is where we find out that I'm the problem, and then you and Zoe record a podcast, and it's just like half an hour long.
20 minutes fit, guaranteed.
Anyway, yeah. So what's there to go through? Shall we try and think of like what's happened in the world of dodgeball since?
I feel like a few games were played a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
one or two.
So a few admin things. One, like subscribe if you want more content. We are so close to 100 subscribers. That'd be so freaking awesome. Yeah, just killing Colm while we're at it. We're also at last checking 499 followers on Instagram. So if we get that one more and get to half a century, that would be pretty dope. But yeah, shout out to Northern Ireland who sort of started their leagues 2 weeks ago, whenever it was.
Northern Ireland. Has to be done every time you say it. It has to be.
Well, yeah, it has to be done. Does that mean every time that we mention Austria, we have to do the Wakanda dance as well?
Oh God, let's not start adding to the list. It's gonna gonna start doing everybody's huddle chant every time you mention them on the podcast. So do like the sheriff bloody stupid bow and arrow.
So wait, only every time it comes up with the predictions, like who are you voting for? And then like when the little animation comes up, it'll be like Spartans. It's like, what is your profession? Yeah, well, I'll have to program something. Need to get a soundbite. I just like if
Please.
you see.
Oh my God!
If you see me at league just running around with a microphone, like sticking it in the middle of teams' huddles, it's just to get the chant as you break huddle. That's all. That's it. I promise. We'll
get a clip. We'll get a clip of the sheriffs doing the bow and arrow thing. I don't really know if they actually say sheriff, so they just do that.
I imagine it's just sheriffs, isn't it? Like.
Well, obviously nobody else is gonna do a bow and arrow, are they?
I don't know. Maybe no, that wouldn't. Yeah, that I don't know. But yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I haven't done any graphics in Northern Ireland. I will like to in the future. But hey, like we're lucky that we're even getting uni ones and the other ones out at the moment. So please forgive me for that. But we'll just give you a shout out and say that Northern Ireland's happening, Dodgeball League's happening. Go check it out. If you are a listener from Northern Ireland and you're not playing for a dodgeball club in Northern Ireland yet, what are you doing? Go find your local club and go support them. And then the only other thing.
How did you get here? I'm genuinely curious of how you got here.
to that one Kiwi listener as well. Like, we're gonna individually go around the country, just like, so you listening in Hong Kong, how did you come across us?
We got you sorted. We got you sorted.
Yeah, we got all the content for dodgeball. So, yeah, and the other one is uni leagues. I will get round to posting the uni leagues results and the tables. Thanks to those messaging us to like ask about that. Glad to know you're watching and listening. But yeah, we will be doing some uni stuff and maybe even a pod on it at some point when it gets internet life will be a lot easier.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
Yeah, this is so. If you're wondering why pods are late or the graphics are a mess, it's because Nick doesn't have internet. That's entirely why.
it's just that Nick's a mess. I'll be honest, but that's a different story.
I mean, yeah, the truth hurts. Doesn't have to be spoken here, but the truth hurts.
Poke the bear. Poke the bear.
Yes.
You will snap in this podcast someday because of me. I can guarantee it.
Well, I hope not.
It's all right. I won't take it personally.
You calm. Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. I'll shut up now.
You've had to deal with like 5 years of me not saying your name right anyway, so I mean, swings and roundabouts, right?
No matter, we talked about this on the podcast previously, and people still continue. I feel like they're doing it too. They think it's winding me up, but I'm just like, I've had this since the day I moved to Manchester. It doesn't wind me up.
No one says it, right? It's fine. Anyway, so yeah, that's Uni Leagues wrapped up. It was great to see some of the results. Great to see some teams appearing there, or new clubs appearing. Yeah, it was some good quality, to be honest. I was there at the North League. I was reffing the men's North 1 League, which was pretty good to see being played. Some good quality. It looks like it's going to be a competitive league. So yeah, unis, we are paying attention, and we hope you're enjoying Dodgeball. Anyway,
that sounded so weird. Yeah, you had to say it that way.
We are watching. You? Yeah. Anyway,
we're
yeah.
Watching you.
I'm just gonna move swiftly on. So, men's Super League results.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. So this is what happened last time. These are the results, at least.
For the audio listeners, do you want to go through the results?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, right. Court 1, you had Derby Phantoms beating Wessex Wolves 17-7. Spartans lost to London Storm 12-16, and then Storm 2s drew to Coventry Silverbacks, and Manchester Bees then beat Storm 1s. And Wessex also lost to Coventry Silverbacks. On Court 2, you had Bees narrowly beating Nottingham Sheriffs. You had Meteors beating Rangers. You had Derby Phantoms beating Sheriffs. Spartans beating Rangers, and Meteors beating Storm 2s.
Not a great start for those on the Neutral Zone podcast, is it?
No, not really.
I'm such a wind-up merchant.
I mean,
honestly. It's
I mean, not many of them were playing, right? To be fair to them, like, it's not like they could have done any better because some of them weren't there. It's not the Nottingham Sheriffs podcast, put it that way. Like,
oh, right, yeah. So, what was your, like, looking at those results? What's the one that was most surprising to you?
To be honest, Storm beating Spartans was a big one.
Big one.
Yeah. Especially when they then go and lose to Bees. Like.
That's less shocking,
Oh yeah, I see that's a prime example, guys. Yeah, that's a prime example of Nick's internet being shocking while we're going on. That's the first time it's happened so far, so hopefully it won't happen too many times. Anyway, right.
We spent an hour chatting shit, and it happens to call as soon as we start recording. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I also thought
anyway,
the draw, Storm 2s versus Silverbacks is quite interesting. Seeing a draw happen there. I think Silverbacks are hoping for sort of like mid-table, so I think they were hoping for a win there, to be honest, or a little bit higher than at the bottom. So I think they were hoping for a bit more than a draw.
You would need to be winning that game if you're looking for. Sorry, are we back now?
Yeah, we're fine.
Apologies.
Carry on.
Yeah, if you're looking to finish mid-table, you need to be winning games like that. Anybody in and around you have to be beaten. A draw is not too bad, but because. Well, to be fair, they're technically in fourth, like, after 2 matches, which isn't too bad. A win and a draw, you'd probably take that after the first league meet if you're looking to finish mid-table. But
yeah,
that could come back. I reckon that'll come back and bite them in the ass at some point.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that's something they'd want to win. So Reece, do better. In other news, I think the double Rangers loss was a bit tough for them because, I mean, I've got to, apologise to Storm and Meteors for saying the Rangers have upped their game and probably are a bit better, but apparently they didn't like to follow up on my praises. So Yeah,
To be
my
fair,
bad.
that is the toughest league meet you could come into,
Yeah.
And I think Rangers were missing Parsons. I don't think there's anybody else of note that I could think of top of my head. I imagine Ross Craig will be in the DMs telling me I'm wrong, but we'll wait and see on that front.
Yeah, I think
But yeah,
I think that so I think Neutral Zone was saying that no one was at full strength apart from Bees and Storm. I don't know how true that is. But
Bees. No, I don't think anybody is missing from Bees really. Brew was moved down, and he could easily be in the first team, but that was about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, other than that,
that Bees Sheriff's game was one hell of a game.
yeah,
That was squeaky bum time, that one.
I wish I got to see some of the Super League ones, but I was too busy reffing. So, but yeah, it's I think that is a big it's a big win for Bees to maintain. I know the set difference won't count for much, but just getting the points is going to be important at this
Well,
stage.
considering Sheriff's lost the last two sets for Bees to take that, because there was like 10 seconds left in the clock, and you can just hear me from the sidelines going, "Go in, go!" And he just looks at me, and then somebody like passes the message on the end, is like, "If you don't make this hit now, then it's a draw."
Right.
And then he goes and does a leap of faith, and then just clips the guy's leg. I can't remember who it was. Apologies. To then take it into a last minute set to then go on and win. Oh my god, the stress I was going through as the timekeeper. Oh my god. We made it hard. We made it hard work for ourselves, like especially in the early stages. And we kept having to claw back rather than being in control of the game. Bays love to be in control of the game. If we're like, we can grind out the match if we're up, but we've always kind of like struggled to come back. So it was so well done from the boys to keep fighting the game and bring it back the way they did, because there's probably going to be a few games where it's like that, like we've all seen how Super League can go. Like look at Spartans against Storm, as a prime example of if you're not in control of the game, you have to work your ass off to come back. So you could see a few upsets. I'll tell you what I was actually very surprised by that I haven't mentioned yet is the newly promoted Derby beating Sheriffs after Sheriffs performed so well against Bees. I was very shocked to see that result not long after.
I think I'd kind of agree, but then based on what I heard about the team sheets and stuff, and there was some players missing from Sheriffs, I think Bees could have done a better job against Sheriffs, and the fact that Derby came away with a win as well.
I do agree with that.
I don't think that was as much of a surprise.
No, but I did think
Sheriffs played well.
Sheriffs played really well against Bees. Like Bees made it hard work for ourselves. I don't even know what to call it anymore. But like Sheriffs did play well. You can't take that away from them. So I was expecting them to go and beat Derby basically. And I think Derby's a good team, especially that picked up Dom Smith. I genuinely almost forgot his name for a sec.
The guy you were flirting with so hard last week that he slid into our DMs.
It's a secret. I'm playing dumb.
I mean, there's some bad secrets in Dodgeball, and that has got to be one of the worst.
Maybe. But yeah, like it was a good pickup. I didn't think it was. I still struggled to see Derby beating Sheriffs on the day, but because Derby are a very well drilled team, like they can make a game for anybody, and they beat Wessex quite comfortably. Is that the biggest win of the day?
No, Silverbacks beat them.
Oh god, yeah, Silverback. Actually, no, Meteors.
Yeah,
Storm.
Meteor Storm. Too.
Okay, right, just shit all over
just waffling, mate. Just waffling.
That's this entire podcast, pal.
Yes, it is.
If that name wasn't taken, we probably have to rename. But yeah, that was a very good game, and I was also kind of shocked by Spartans coming back to after the Storm game to beat Rangers. But that's fair play to them for having the mentality to kind of like forget about the last game and still bring it to Rangers.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Don't know if there's much else to say about that, to be honest. I think if you haven't gathered already, we basically thought that hey, Super League, great league, great results. Carry on, lads.
Good
Um,
dodgeball. Also, if nobody's aware of this, I would highly recommend checking out the British Dodgeball YouTube channel for a load of Super League games. I think it was all of Court 2 was on it. Yeah, because Bees Sheriffs was on it. Yeah, all of Court 2 games are on it, and there's a few absolute
and
bangers that you can watch back.
and for record, like British Dodgeball have put on their fixtures that these are subject to last minute changes, because if there's a match that they want to put on stream, they will do it. So they'll just swap the courts around. So
Which
while
means
we
bombard the DMs asking for certain matches, do it.
yeah
I endorse it.
yeah if we can just like get BD to like this is the game we want to watch.
I will
we should go through
BD at each episode and tell you to bombard somebody with questions.
We-
That is going to be my theme of the pod for the next year.
we should go at the end of the year. We should count how many of our matches to catch, match to catches.
Match to catch.
Yeah, but
It's not
the
matches
plural,
to catches. It doesn't.
the plural of them.
Do you guys see what I'm working with?
Fuck you. Without me, this wouldn't exist. Okay,
anyway, let's go.
So, yeah, how many of them made it onto live streams? So, yeah, if you count watching,
we're already half in it because they can only show one court at a time.
I know.
So
well, yeah, but then
so one league, but one league at a time though.
Oh yeah, but it's the top out of the top 3 leagues that they're doing, which is League One, Men's Super League, and Women's Super League.
Yeah. Out of the possible number, because obviously League 4, it'd probably never get live streamed
every day, baby. Every day we want live streams of League 4.
Every day. All day.
Dog. So.
Yes, it's definitely your fault that this waffles on.
Definitely. Do we want to go on to next week's fixtures for Men's Super League and then our predictions, or are we just going to do a tie bow on one league at a time, or do you want to go on to
however you want to do it, my friend? This is your podcast. It wouldn't exist without you.
Oh, why do I do this to myself? Okay.
I love it here. It's so good.
I know you do. Right, fixtures, Men's Super League. There we go. Men's Super League meet 2. Yeah. What is our match to catch? Our match to catch is Meteors.
That's Meteors and Spartans.
But we did discuss about this, or at least, yeah. I mean, we did discuss about this, but generally, all the matches on Court 2 are pretty spicy, pretty good to catch up with. Like, if you go through them all, you got Meteors Spartans, always a big game. Spartans have already lost the game, and Meteors are currently like nice at the top. They are going to look for solidifying that position and keeping themselves there. You've got the 2 newly promoted teams in Derby and Cobb. They're playing against each other. That'll be an interesting game. You've got 2-0 Killer Bees and against Rangers, who went 0-2, but they had the 2 hardest games arguably to start with. So are Rangers going to come back and fight for top and mid-table, or are Killer Bees going to put their stamp, push forward for 3rd place, or trying to fight for the top 2? We'll have to see, because that'll be an interesting one. Meteors against Storm as well. Like, after Storm beat Spartans last time, you've got to say that's got to be an interesting matchup. And then Wessex against Sheriffs, after Sheriffs had a pretty disappointing league meet last time, and Wessex are yet to sort of get out of the starting blocks. I think that'll be an interesting game as well. So you got all areas of the table really covered in these matches, and a lot of storylines going into it. So basically, go watch Court 2. Court 1, there are some interesting games, but then
I would love the Derby Rangers game to be swapped with the Wessex Sheriffs. Personally, I actually think that'd be a bit of a spicy game.
Yeah. I think Derby Rangers will be a good game, but I also you got to cover all areas of the table, like top to bottom. I think Wessex against Sheriffs is a good game. and it will be interesting to see how
You trying to say Sheriffs are bottom of the table? You
well,
trying to say
they are
Sheriffs are bottom?
they are at the moment. The facts don't lie.
Like, listen, like if you want to go tell those in the neutral zone that they're bottom table material, you work on it.
I'm not saying I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's where they're lying right now. Yeah, I know, right. Right. Anyway, court two is the
Oh,
one to
brilliant.
watch, but there are definitely some other good matches. I think, yeah, that Derby Rangers one, like Derby will be feeling themselves after 2 wins and will want to be, taking on Rangers. I think Silverbacks will be looking forward to the Spartans game, like knowing who they are, but I think Spartans will handle that relatively well. But yeah, the rest of the games should be, I mean, yeah, they'll be good games. They'll be high
Should
level.
be good.
But yeah, court
No,
two is where it's at.
whatever one's on the live stream will be a bunch of good games anyway.
Yeah, hoping it's court two, Alex. Anyway,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's the one we're going for. All right, so let's move on to our predictions. Okay, so our match to catch is Meteors v Spartans. Seeing as she's not here, I do have a prediction. So we are going to go with Zoe's prediction first. This is where I have to make sure that I get everything right. So Zoe, hey, the tech works. I got it right that time. Cool. So I think Zoe's backing Meteors in this game.
She was toing and froing between the two. I think she just swapped over a couple of times whenever we were poking and prodding.
Yeah. It was. It's fair because it's going to be a hard game to predict. I mean, that's why it's on match to catch. It's going to be fairly even throughout it. Which, okay, you go first. Go on. Who are you backing here?
I'm gonna back Meteors because I think they will outplay Spartans.
That was the wrong one.
Oh, you idiot!
That was the wrong one.
sack the tech guy.
Come
on, yeah, one shot. For you audio listeners, you haven't had a bottle yet, but Nick ruined it to the YouTube clan.
There you go. You got your Meteors.
Thanks, mate.
You know what? I'm gonna.
Who are you backing to win Meteors versus Spartans?
I'm gonna back Meteors. I feel Meteors had a good start. I mean, Spartans losing to Storm obviously is a bit of a shock to the system.
That's kind of what's better for me.
Meteors beat Rangers, so I think you got to look at that on strength. I've got to stick with what I said last time. I think Rangers will end up maybe being above Spartans, maybe. So Meteors. I got to back Meteors here.
To be fair, you must have been buzzing after the Spartan Storm game for your prediction.
Mate, I know. I was feeling it. It could have happened. It could have happened. But shit, no. We do have our Bevers rating, and our Bevers prediction is.
I wonder what it could be.
Spartans.
You actually did mess it up.
I didn't mess it. Yeah, I did mess it up earlier. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
So
I didn't check Bevers ratings whenever you posted them. So
well, basically, he's predicted a draw, which I think is like fair, but we don't do draws here. You predict a winner, and he's just edging Spartans to win this. So
interesting. Well, they are. I say interesting, but in his system, like they are the reigning champions, and obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it obviously makes a lot of sense mathematically. This isn't actually Bevers predicted per se.
Yeah, this is not Bevers' personal opinion of what's happening. This is just
the Bevers rating. Does he still post it on House of Dodge?
Well, I guess we'll see Saturday morning because they're not very timely with them.
I was actually check with him though whether he actually does that or not. So
I'm pretty sure he does. But yeah, there definitely was. There was one for the first league meet. I just don't know. I haven't seen one for the second league meet yet.
I apologize for not reading it. I will read the next one. I promise.
It was very brief. It was these are the matches to watch, and these are our predictions. Good job. Oh wait, no. It was also there was the five. That
Isn't
was
that
the.
us?
Sorry, no. It was the 5,000 times repeated. This is if the
Oh
league was five
yes, I
thousand times.
did. No, that
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That
And then
that's pretty cool. I like that one. That was
that
a
was
really good
that
idea.
was actually
I
pretty good.
rated it.
Yeah.
I was like one of those like football manager-esque articles, which I love football manager. But anyway, move on before I
Move
go
on.
into waffling mode.
It's a bit too late for that, isn't it?
Don't come at me like that, mate. Don't come at me like that.
Yeah. Anyway, find the right thing. What are we talking about next? Men's League One, right?
Men's League One.
Men's League One.
There's a certain match I'm really looking forward to talking about.
I now.
Yeah.
Well, here's your results. So, audio listeners, court one, you had Nighthawks versus Bees. I think this is a match that Colin wants to talk about. A 25-3 thrashing by the Nighthawks. Absolutely going to town on Bees.
God, those boys couldn't beat anybody.
Sheriffs 2 lost to Virtue Empire 10-14, which actually is a solid result for Virtue Empire.
Big one.
Leeds Owls, big up the Owls, beating Thunder Dodge 16-6. Cyclones beating Virtue Empire 24-4. Bees 19-9 to Owls. Wait to Bees. Anyway, MK 10. So court two. MK Cyclones 10, Beagles 14, Bedford Mighty Eagles 14. Rangers 2-4, Spartans 2-20. Big win for Spartans 2 there. Nighthawks 9, Bedford Mighty Eagles 15. Nottingham Sheriffs 2's 3. Spartans 2's 23. Oh my god. Rangers 2 16 and Thunder Dodge 8. They're your results. Yeah, so the big results for me, absolute shocker here. 25-3. Colin, do you want to talk about it? Take it away. What went so horribly wrong other than you guys are shit?
Oh mate, cannot wait to talk about our other game. No, like we really struggled to settle into the game. There's a few new lads into the squad, and you could just tell they were a bit nervous about the whole thing. We couldn't really settle down and get into our own game. Which going in, I sat them all down before our second match and was like, right, boys, write this off the record, forget it existed. Get your heads in the game. Whenever we were training the Tuesday beforehand, we were like playing up against killers, and we played really, really, really well. And it was like I know what those boys can do, and that wasn't that. And I think just the whole idea of bigging themselves up to think that we could go in and give Norwich a really good game. I didn't think we'd learned by that much. Like I was going in going like, oh, we can give these boys a game, but like we just couldn't settle into it at all. And then we went up against Leeds and battered them, and it was fantastic. The boys really turned up for the last game.
It was. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a classic Leeds v Manchester game, in my opinion. Right, Leeds. For those.
Can I just want to point out something, right? Before the game, before Bees versus Leeds, Nick Bull chatted so much fucking shit that he went up to I think 2 or 3 different players. Yeah, I'm undefeated against Bees.
Yeah, well,
acting the big man. I also had somebody else from Leeds come up to me and say, "Yeah, we'll see you be laughing after this game." Won't name names for that one.
I still have a positive record. I still have a positive record against Bees, to be fair.
You keep that undefeated streak out of your dirty little mouth, mate. You will never be able to say those words again, you little shitbag. Do you know what? Genuinely, after you said that, I was like, yeah, we've got this in the back. Genuinely did. I went up to Sam Wrench and I said that. I was like, never been so confident against Leeds.
To be fair, like we were feeling pretty good because Leeds generally are really slow starters. Like we just don't get going in the first game. Like to put that into perspective, like last year our national first league meet was against Virtue Empire and Storm 3 who got demoted, and Virtue Empire finished 8th, I think, just outside of relegation. So, and we like relatively comfortably beat Virtue, but then drew to Storm 3. So I think like we're shit at the beginning of the year. Like no two ways about it. We've had a few
So
changes.
I thought you were just gonna stop at worse shit.
There's no two ways about it. But to be honest, it was a cracking game. I had loads of fun in that game. It was
No,
great
it
to
was
see.
it was a really good game, and I was just really glad that the boys were able to forget about the first. Because like, look at Bees last season, right? Or Worker Bees, I should say, last
Absolute
season. In fact,
mess.
whenever we struggled with our first game, that mentality always kind of leaked into the second one. But if we had a strong first game, we always had a strong second one. Like it was always kind of what you never knew what kind of team was turning up on the day. So it's really nice to have like a really strong squad mentally that after such a difficult game, like I said, like I know mentality was a big reason why we struggled against Norwich, but to just go like fuck that, move on. And we started so strong against you guys. Like we made it so difficult for you to come back in the second half.
Which we
in
did.
The second half, I'm pretty sure we still won the second half.
Right. There's a little issue I have with the score and I haven't been able to rewatch the video properly that we recorded.
You can't ask it changed.
No, I know. But because it doesn't make much of a difference anyway. You still won. Like that's the thing. I think basically there was an extra set got added to the Bees side, because we won a set and then a set got added to Bees and a set got added to us. At one point,
I'll be honest. I didn't.
It was also when the stream. It was also when the stream went down, and I haven't I haven't checked to see if that actually happened or not. It's just something that I thought happened.
Have you not got around to editing the video yet?
When? when would I have had time?
I don't know.
Also,
you have time to be like
me and what internet are going to upload it to YouTube? Hey,
I just thought like because there was no internet that you would do that offline. But anyway, I digress.
No, there's a bigger problem in the fact that it's on a micro SD card, and I don't have a micro SD card reader. So.
Yeah. Right, but, fine, yeah. Whatever. Moving on. But basically, in the second half, right, I know you usually say that you did really well to come back and stuff like that, right? But what I told the boys in the second half, I was just like, right, we have always historically struggled to keep a big lead in a game. So I was just like, I just want to see us like play slowly and play at the time as much as possible, because I really wanted to get match experience of this, because if it was a tighter game and we had to like see out like 6 minutes of a game while 3 sets up, I wanted us to practice those situations whenever we had such a big gap. So if you started swinging the momentum really well in your favor, I would have there was another gear we could have kicked into if we really wanted to. To be honest, looking back at it, I probably should have just kind of kept the momentum we had going. Realistically, it's probably a bad decision for me to do what we did. But yeah, I was so happy with how the boys played. I was just so happy, like, just to see a bit of like strong on court unity kind of showing on court instead of just the training. So yeah, I was very proud of us. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What I mean by it was a typical Bees Leeds game. Was Bees got up to usually get up to a good start, and they start strong, and Leeds generally don't. And it's
that one from last season. Oh my god, that was so annoying.
So it's basically a case of like, can Leeds come back strong enough to win the game? Or
yeah, I think last year, like, we technically had a bigger lead at the half time last year than we did this time.
It was only a 2-set lead at half time. You had a 4-set lead at half time this time.
I thought it was like
it was 10-2 at half. It was 10-2 at half time. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was 10-2 in the last one as well.
No, it was 8-4.
Was it 8-4? I must have mixed around.
I thought it was 10-2, and I was really confident it was 10-2, and then watched the match back after, and I was like, oh shit, it was only 8-4.
Fair enough.
So, but it felt like a big difference. But yeah, not to just talk about our own game. I do actually want to talk about 2 other games, because they did catch my eye as like pretty big results or interesting results. So both of Bedford Mighty Eagles games, because they're 2 new teams in the league. You got MK coming down and also Nighthawks coming up. I didn't expect either of those results to be that close. I thought Bedford Mighty Eagles would win that a bit more.
I actually thought so I definitely wasn't expecting that MK result because they've had a pretty big rejig of players in that squad.
Yeah.
So I definitely wasn't expecting it. I'll be honest, like I was kind of like, with that many changes in the squad, you're unlikely to see good results that early on. So like, fair play. You know, Bedford Eagles are a strong squad. So to get a 14-10 result, fair fucks to you boys. It's actually one I want to watch back on the stream properly.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it was on the stream. I think yours
was it not?
Yeah, yours and Nighthawks on one.
Oh yeah, it was court one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
what you've got is court one. I actually thought the Norwich Bedford Eagles game was going to be tighter. I really did.
But you'd expect so after their Norwich's first result, because we know. No. But we know Bedford.
I know.
We know Bedford. So let's put it past you. Like to win 25-3 in your first game in the promotion, it not only takes you to have a cracking game, it takes the opposite team to have a shit game. That's probably what happened. Okay, you just throw that. Oh
game no, I completely agree. They punish. But the thing is, right, against us, they never let us get a foot in the game at all. They punished every single little mistake that we made throughout the game. So at the end of that, I was like, you know what, fair fucks to them. Like, they did everything right, we did everything wrong, and I was expecting them to be able to do. I didn't see the game, so this is purely based off of a result. So I have no idea whether it was 15-1 and Norwich came back into it or whatever way it kind of panned out, right? Based off that result, I was expecting Norwich. If you had flipped the results around, I would have been a lot less shocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was 15-9 to Bedford against MK and it was 14-10 against Norwich, I'd be like, yeah, that I was expecting that.
Yeah. A three-set win is at some point a three-set win has to be considered comfortable.
Yeah. In dodgeball, it'd be like that's sort of like a 2-1 in football.
Yeah, we've not really talked about how scores represent what maybe happened to you in game, because if you think a one-set victory, anything could have happened. That team could have had it in the bag and then just let it slip. There was a game that happened later that I can talk about that did occur in. You could have a two-game win, and this could be a case where it was even, and then you had less than 3 minutes left, and you had two sets happen in less than 3 minutes, which then that team pulled away. That's very possible to happen, but a three-set win is pretty comfortable. Either you pull away enough in time by the end and you're already leading, or you've already got the win and you just let them pull back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to see someday, from British Dodgeball, is actually in football it shows you the scores, right? I would love to see that kind of thing for matches where you can actually see each set,
the progress,
how it was played out. Yeah, that would be so sick. And whenever it's a minute set as well, being marked. Stuff like that would be really, really cool to see.
Obviously, for those who don't ref, the reffing sheets now contain who won which set in what order, so you can see what happens all the way up to halftime. So for this season, they will have that data. I don't think it's going to be saved anywhere because it's not going to be saved on the Google spreadsheet, but they've got it hidden somewhere. I don't know if it'll get lost or whatever, but just good to know.
It'd be really cool if they just photocopy them and put them into a British Dodgeball site somewhere or something like that.
Like an archive.
Literally, that's exactly what I was going to say. Just to have the archive to be able to look back and see that those kind of matches. If you looked at it for the Sheriff's Bees game in Super League, it would have been such an interesting way to look back at it. For if you're to look back at it in a couple of seasons time or something like that, it'd be really cool to kind of see how that played out, because it was a really close game. That's similar to watching United winning the Champions League in '99, where it's a 93rd minute goal or something like that to take the win. Shit that's really exciting to look back and see. So that would be cool. Anyway, I completely digress again.
The one thing I want to cover before we go on to the table is how important that win is for Virtue for against Sheriffs 2. They need to
Especially
be picking up wins like that to be able to stay up in League One this year. Because I know they've had a lot
massive,
of
yeah.
great like genuinely great players have left them. Like that Virtue is a pool of talent that just needs to be sort of honed a little bit in terms of the way they play, because they do have good players and they just had a lot of them leave lately. So this is a really big win for them. They are still showing that they can be competitive in that way, even with those players gone, which is really great to see. Tough time against MK, but beating Sheriffs, that's something that they have to hold on to. And games against like Thunder Dodge or other games that they're going to have to be targeting, trying to get those wins. But yeah, big result for them.
Absolutely. Completely
Right.
agree.
Just a summary on the table, real quick. So you got Spartans 2. Now, the only reason I want to bring it up because of how impressive it is having, 6 teams on 1-1 loss 1. That's kind of nuts. Yeah, there's not much else to say about that. It's just impressive that there's that many teams that are on 1-1 loss 1.
So how interesting of a league it's going to be this season.
It is, and everyone sort of played completely different teams as well, like in terms of where they expected to be in the table. So I don't, you can't read into this at all, because where someone is on the league table, you genuinely will not represent where they'll end up. Spartans 2 are looking good with 2 wins, and they did well.
Difference as well.
Yeah. So you have to see how that plays out. But that good. Just wanted to bring that up and highlight that before we move on to
100%.
Fixtures this week. So fixtures coming up. We have Court 1, Rangers 2 versus Sheriffs 2, Nighthawks versus Leeds, MK versus Spartans 2, Rangers 2 versus Virtue, Bees 2 versus Beagles. MK on Court 2, you got MK versus Thunder Dodge, Bees versus Virtue, Thunder Dodge versus Beagles, Sheriffs 2 versus Leeds, Nighthawks versus Spartans 2. Early morning session. I was aware of this. I just forgot to change the times when I posted them earlier. Sorry about that. If you want to see what mistake Nick made, it's still on Facebook. He hasn't deleted it off there, so it's just going to stay on there. Instagram's like where most of our info is at, so we'll try and keep up to date on Instagram. But so obviously we've got a match to catch to talk about, but out of these ones, any that stick out to you? Big games?
I know for us it's going to be very important to beat Virtue, because we want to be comfortably away from that like relegation zone like last year. So that's a big game for us, because I think we lost to Virtue. I didn't actually.
You did, didn't you?
Either of them.
Did.
Yeah. Because I didn't play either of them. Because I had my back injury last year. So
Bees had a torrid time last year. They really did.
Well, wait, like the discussion for another time. But like we were chopping and changing for a lot of reasons. Like I was injured for half of the season, and we had a lot of new people coming in and out of the club and stuff like that. So like there's a lot of reasons behind it. But yeah, I want us to be comfortably away from the relegation zone from early doors, just to build confidence in the squad, which I definitely think we could do. Especially with the signings at Bees this season, with the likes of Jonty coming over from Leicester, Brennan coming over from Sheffield was a big pickup for us. Just increasing the depth of players who could play Super League coming into that worker squad is massive for us, and to continue so we have something kind of to build on now, a much more stable squad hopefully, and hopefully my back can hold out for a season. Fingers crossed. Sam Wrench will kill me if I hurt my back again. But yeah, so it's a really big match for us. So yeah, that's a big one. But that's from a personal standpoint.
From the other games, I mean, so personally, like from my point of view, Leeds v Nighthawks, that's a big game. See where Nighthawks come in after obviously they.
Yeah, we'll save your shit talking about Nighthawk results afterwards.
Hey, I've been dissing Nighthawks. I'm just saying I was impressed by their results really. So we'll
Oh,
see.
definitely,
We'll see.
definitely.
We'll see how that one is. It's definitely a big game for us. Obviously, I think Nighthawks are going to be pinning for top half of the table. I think we are as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that match up. It's an important game for us from that perspective. I think
Yeah,
also
definitely.
like Cyclones v Spartans too. You know, both of them obviously going for top half of the table at the moment. I think they're gonna, that's gonna be an interesting game to catch. If you can.
It'll be a statement game for both of them, really, because
Yeah.
Cyclones, after that game against Bedford, surely they must be thinking that we can give any team a run for their money. If they can do that against Spartans too again, even if it's like a narrow loss or a draw or something like that'd be very big confidence wise for them going into later matches in the season.
Yeah, I think
Like if you can
I
take,
think both for that game, like the result will start to shape how their season looks
yeah,
because
well,
whether they're
that's
mid-table
how
or top
sport
table.
works.
Damn, I didn't know that coming into a podcast, sports podcast. Thank you for enlightening me. But yeah, no, it's more of that's going to split the difference between the top three and mid-table, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. The other one I think will do that is actually Spartans 2 again against Norwich Nighthawks.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that will really kind of settle in where, because I think we mentioned this on the first podcast, if not it was just in our messages, that we were kind of predicting the likes of Spartans 2, Norwich and Bedford to be kind of the top three in the league probably.
Yeah.
So that's a big game for me. Because if Norwich can kind of forget about what happened against Bedford and come out strong against Spartans too, it could be huge. Especially if they end up doing like the triangle of results, I'd love to see that.
I mean,
I'd love to see that.
The interesting thing about this is that the table is going to look very different after this because if you look at MK, if MK come out with 2 wins, they're going to be looking pretty nice in the table at the moment. I think they're like third or something. They're at the top end of those that are all leveled on one win and 1 loss. The Spartans as well. If they lose to MK, then they've got, and it's very possible they also lose to Nighthawks. They will have to stay on two wins, and then say Nighthawks win both of their games, and Nighthawks are also going to be at the top. So you then got like MK and Nighthawks climbing, Spartans falling. I'd say Bedford My Eagles probably going to come away with 2 wins. Like they're going to be up there as well.
Spartans are fallen, Spartacus will rise.
Oh God!
Thank you. Dad jokes galore.
This is the comedy. This is the
agree,
comedy
though.
of our podcast. Okay, so that's why we put comedy in our genre as well.
I dare they call this comedy. I take offense to that. This is not funny in the slightest.
Oh yeah, not at all. Not at all.
No, I do agree. I actually think this is quite a big meet for a lot of teams, like especially Spartans too. If Spartans 2 come away with 2 wins like that, they'd be very, very serious contenders for top of the league at the end of the season. Even if it's just after 2 meets.
Yeah. Right. Well, on to our match to catch. I need to do some jiggery pokery to sort this out. So.
What's your match to catch? What's your match to catch?
Oh, please save me.
I told you I was going to try and come up with a jingle at some point for this.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't say it was going to be good. I want like the match to catch version of, like, have you ever seen BBC Radio 1 like Unpopular Opinion? Come and give us your unpopular opinion. Something up and down that you've been scared to say. Sure. I've been waiting for I'm trying to come up with inspiration for our own jingle for Match to Catch. So
it's
a work in progress.
I mean, Kath was trying to sing the one show with the trumpets earlier in the exercise. So, I mean, I think we've got some competition there for a good one.
Brilliant. So, all right. Are you ready for Match to Catch now?
I sure hope you are.
Have I waffled enough for you to get the tech stuff right?
We're here now. So I'm going to start off again with Zoe.
What's the match to catch?
The match to catch is Nighthawks v Spartans 2. Zoe's prediction is Spartans 2 to win. What are you thinking, Colm? What are you thinking?
You kind of have to go Spartans 2, right? Like I think this would be closer than the Bedford Norwich game, because I think Norwich will definitely be looking to come out swinging and show that they're promotion material. Especially with if you're signing somebody like Henry Skinner, you want to be, pushing for that top 2 spot, right? So I think they'll come out swinging, but I do think Spartans too have a lot of strength and depth, especially if like anybody in that Spartans first team ends up coming down, you're still picking up really, really good talent. So yeah, I go Spartans too.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. As much as I'd like to back Nighthawks, I think Spartans are
I'd
looking
love
strong.
to see it. I'd love to see it just purely to create this whole triangle of results thing.
Yep.
Because I just as like somebody interested in the league, I just like it whenever it's a really tight league. It's always very interesting. I want us to create like what the Women's Super League was last year, where there's like 5 different potential winners at the end of the season. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Especially when there's promotion and relegation involved in it. Like not just
Oh
winning
yeah,
it, but like
hell yeah,
promotion as well,
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I think I have to back Spartans as well.
Yeah,
We're not just
but
coating up
Norwich,
to
I'm
Alex,
rooting
but
for you, so I
yeah,
win either way.
exactly. Like my head's with Spartans, my heart's with Norwich. So that's where it's at. But yeah, what does
Someone is
Bevers
gonna
predict?
love that.
Bevers does also predict a Spartans win. Um, I have got that right. Yes.
Mix.
So this is another draw according to Bevers. But again, we don't do draws here. Spartans 2 are a bit more favourable to win against Nighthawks than Spartans were to beat Meteors in Bevers' rating
We
system.
didn't even talk about the fact that this is 2 teams coming up from the league below, right?
No, but like it's basically 2 teams that have played each other before last year. They have fixtures against each other you
Yeah.
can look at, but I feel like Spartans have got stronger and Nighthawks have stayed about the same, maybe.
Oh, it's sorry. I really wish I had done research at all into this last season. But I would have loved to have known the actual results before this. But
Yeah, I can't
yeah,
remember.
sorry. That complete. I'm really sorry. I just threw you off there.
I think I think I think Nighthawks got someone's going to come at me for this, but I think Nighthawks got a clean sweep. I think Nighthawks won because I think they were at the table comfortably, and then there was basically a fight for second place between Spartans, Raptors, and Ronda.
Oh, that's right. I'm not sure about the clean sweep, but that's right because the Spartans Stafford or something like that game in the last like threw off who was going to be potentially promoted or something like that. I can't
Yeah,
remember what it was, but I remember there was a really important game the last day of the season in that league.
yeah. It
But yeah,
was.
that was definitely a very that makes it a more interesting game, because they both know each other quite well.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see like who comes out on top after like all of the chopping and changing from the year before. So, um, right.
You can tell I've done my usual level of research going into today's one.
We know our stuff clearly. Next league we have find the right one. We have men's league 2. Um, right. Looking at these, the one that I'm going to jump to straight away because I actually did get a chance to watch this, and it was actually our match to catch. So our match to catch was the Welsh derby between Carmarthen and Ronda. Um, I did get a chance to sort of like step aside and go watch it because they were on at the same time as our matches. So it was a really competitive game, as kind of to be expected from what we know of the 2 teams. And it was one of those where it really came down to who made the least mistakes going into the end of the set. And what happened is it looks 12-10 looks close, but Ronda did end up pulling away and have it in the bag, and then Carmarthen just won enough set like the remainder of the
Okay.
times.
Yeah.
So Carmarthen brought it closer, but Ronda did have it in the bag a little bit before. And there was a point in midway through the second half where Ronda just like they won I think 3 sets in a row consecutively, and my God, they had momentum going into it. They were not long sets. They were pretty quick, pretty dominant performances by Ronda. But then like they would do stupid things to let the games like it was Ronda's to lose from the start. I felt like in terms of the way that they were playing, because they definitely had the upper hand when things worked. When things didn't work, Carmarthen were opportunistic. Like they took every opportunity they could, and rightly so. You've got to in dodgeball. You got to really punish them, and they did, to be fair, and they really pushed Ronda in the end. So that's why the score's as close as it was. But it is one of those games that in the end, actually, Ronda did. They won, I think, 2 or 3 sets at the end, or the last 2 sets in a row, and then Carmarthen won 1 set to bring it back, or something like that. So with the time left, Ronda had won. But yeah, good game, really good game. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was recorded anywhere, but this is why, if it's a match to catch, get to St George's Park, go watch it, make some noise, support everyone, because there is some cracking dodgeball on display.
Make some noise.
God. I like honestly, when I'm properly settled down and I'm sorted, I'm getting a soundboard, and we're like, it's gonna be chaos when that happens. But it's just gonna add to
It's not just what I'm for. Oh, what's the point of me on the podcast? I'm just gonna get a soundboard to replace me.
The production quality is gonna go up when Nick gets a soundboard. But yeah, I mean there was some hefty wins and there were some close games. Like, you know, Raptors 20-0ing Wessex. That was a crazy one because I was talking to Sandy from Wessex after that, and it was just one of those games where it seemed like Wessex just didn't know what they were doing when they turned up. Like, it was a bit of a mess, and you know, Stafford, being as organised as they are, took advantage of it. But then, boy, did they come around later on, and when they were playing Soldier Bees. So, you know, good on Wessex for that. And then also like Derby and Mustangs. That's got to be so the neutral zone was talking about this as well. My opinion is this is a win for Mustangs in my opinion. Like, Derby looked good last year. They were a pretty solid team. Mustangs have only just come up. I think you've got to be happy with a win like that in their fancy.
I was just really tempted to sing Mustang Sally, but I held back. I'll be honest.
I'm proud of you. Every time. Honestly, if we get into League 4, like, you're just gonna see so many Mustangs. You're just gonna be like, it's time.
It's time to do. Honestly, the references you're going to get from this podcast from me alone is ridiculous. Anyway, for you non-nerds out there, yeah, I thought the Carmarthen Silverbacks result alongside the Ronda one was actually quite an interesting combination. For whenever I first seen the results, I don't know what to think about Silverbacks too. They must be looking really strong to dominate Storm thirds like that. No?
Yeah, I think
barking up the wrong tree.
I think that's a big win for Silverbacks there, but I think they were pretty strong the year before. Did they also get promoted with?
I genuinely, I could not
think
remember.
They did. I think. Oh wait, there was only a certain number of teams that got promoted though. Was it only Mustangs that? Was it? Yeah, no, but because of Leicester dropping out, it was only 1 instead of 2, wasn't it? I can't remember.
I have no clue.
Either way, yeah, Silverbacks looking good. I honestly didn't get to see much more than that. I'm afraid, but
no, I didn't get to see any of the games. I watched a bit of the Soldier Bees one, but that's all I really got to see.
Yeah, it's hard for bearing in mind, like, of the 3 of us, 2 of us were playing in this session. It's hard for us to know.
So I'm pretty sure the third of us was doing commentary throughout a lot of this as well.
Yeah,
so.
on our games as well. So, you know, yeah, no.
But, also, I do want to say, to have a 20-0 victory for Raptors, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
You really, I genuinely can't think of too many matches that you don't drop a single set at all.
But 20-0, is that's the minimum number of sets you can play in a match, right? Because you've got so
but
3
you also
minutes.
but remember, there's like 20 seconds in between each set as well.
Yeah, but then you round that up with a 1 minute set at the end, right? So
it doesn't work out that way, but yeah.
It's roughly 5 sets.
Let's be honest, I've seen a lot of times where it hits like 30 seconds before a set's restarted as well.
Yeah. So it's like roughly 5 5 sets a half, roughly.
Yeah.
So it's a low scoring match, even though it's a 20-0. Like, so that means that like in the sets, like yes, Stafford won all the sets. They were confident like to do that, but it means that Wessex were at least holding their own in the sets. And this is with the difficulty in dodgeball, right? Is we only see the final set score. We don't actually know what the scores of the sets were as well. So we don't know if they were like 2-on-1 wins in the end where Stafford held on or what. But the fact that it's looks like almost always went to time, most likely, speaks to the fact that either Wessex were holding their own or Stafford's play style is slow and steady, and just wait for Wessex to make mistakes and slowly pick them off. But yeah, it works for them. They won 10 sets, so you gotta tip your hat to that.
Yeah, and the beat excuse me, the beat Derby seconds comfortably.
Big win.
Who drew with the Mustangs. So you're now kind of having to expect that sort of kind of victory against the Mustangs later on down the line as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a very interesting team to watch.
I mean, they were fighting for promotion last year, so you'd like to see them up there again. Maybe it's time.
Definitely.
Maybe that opportunity's come. I think I'm surprised with that Storm 3 result though. I think they're going to come back fighting the next time.
They seem to have some, like, from what I'd seen and talked to a few people about, is that they've got some strong players down there.
Yeah. Just playing as a team, getting some time as a team, right? Like, I think that's
it's always the issue with like your second or third teams of clubs, right? Like if you're getting to the third team, because I know it's kind of the issue with bees, is that a lot of them tend to be like new players to the sport. So it's kind of like trying to get them as much experience as possible so that they can start fighting for second team places.
Yeah.
So yeah, that as a whole, there wasn't too many results that I was like gobsmacked by.
No.
But it does kind of set up for some really interesting games later on in the league. Like I think Cyclones 2 versus the bottom two teams will be a very interesting game whenever it happens.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see Carmarthen Wizards down in 8th place for too long. I don't think anyway.
Yeah, I think
that's a strong looking league.
Yeah, no, it is. Especially as now we've got 5 men's leagues. Like all of them are going to start getting chocker. Like I think there were a lot of teams before that were like, oh, we definitely deserve to be in League One. But like right now, when you look at the quality of the teams that are in there and the quality of the players, maybe you don't. Maybe League Two is the right place because it's getting that competitive. So. But like looking at where it is at the moment, I think that top 5, and maybe I'd include Phantoms 2 in there as well. Like, I think the top 3, they were there or thereabouts last year. I think Mustangs and Phantoms are going to, and Storm 3 are, well, Mustangs and Phantoms are going to be Storm is like mid-table, and I think Storm 3 is going to have something to say about what the top 3 currently looks like going forward as well. So. I'd like to see Wizards also try and get into the mid-table. I'm just glad to see.
I've also just noticed your little mess up in the number of losses for Storm 3 and Wessex Wolves 2.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. Look, I was tired when doing these ones. Okay, we've got graphics. Let's move on. Right. Seeing as you're absolutely disrespecting my work.
I will always disrespect you, my friend.
Love you too. Right, fixtures for this weekend. Obviously, we're playing at the same time again, so it's going to be difficult for us to try and grab it. But this is where Men's League One is playing at the same time. It's going to be on the stream. If you're there, go watch Men's League 2 because we'll have the video that we can go watch after. These ones won't necessarily. So, they need your support as well. It's going to be some cracking games, just as good quality in many ways. So definitely go and watch them. So any big matches that you're looking at here that you're like, we got to try and keep an eye on.
The one I'm intrigued by, just looking at that, I have no recollection of what our actual match to catch is the Derby Phantom seconds against Ronda. I think would be quite an interesting one because I'm curious to see how Phantoms 2 fit into the league as a whole. Because they're that squad where I kind of like, I think of who's at Derby, and I'm just like, I could see them finishing anywhere in that league table, and I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? I could see them fighting for promotion. I could see them fighting for relegation just as easily. Like, so I
That would
think
make
that's
them
a
average.
Well played, sir. So I think the game against Ronda will really kind of help solidify, well, in my head anyway, where they're going to be kind of fighting this season, because that'll be two big games quite early on, against who people we'd expect to be finishing quite high in the league. What other ones?
I mean, I'd also say Storm 3 against Mustangs. I think that's another.
Yeah,
I think that's another game that's and also, well, both Mustangs game against Carmarthen as well. They're two games that are really going to dictate. If Mustangs come with 2 wins out of that, they're definitely top table, like top half of the table.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Before you start making wild predictions.
Yeah, I think that's going to set the scene for them. Again, if Storm 3 then walk away with a loss, like I think they're going to beat Wessex, but. If they walk away with 1 win, 1 loss, I think they would be a bit disappointed with that, and it definitely puts a bit of a downer on their aspirations for the season, getting back into League One.
And the other one is going to be Raptors versus Silverbacks, as they both walked away from the first meet with 2 wins each, sharing top of the table. So that is going to be huge for momentum. Also going to be like huge for the teams in and around them at the moment. Like Ronda's going to have one eye on that game during their break, for sure, because I think that's going to be a big decider in the future.
And funnily enough, they are indeed our match to catch. So bear with me while I sort my life out.
It's the match to catch. It's the match to catch.
You know what? This is exactly where we need that.
What we really need is for me to talk more about Yu-Gi-Oh! What?
Well, no, we most certainly do not.
We don't have time for that anymore.
Moving on very quickly. Zoe's prediction is, drum roll while Nick gets stuff sorted.
I genuinely have no recollection, so I can't even be like I can't remember. I also thought I posted a list of predictions into the chat. I did not.
You didn't. you sent one prediction when about 5 hours ago it looked like we weren't going to have a podcast.
Yeah.
that's when you said your prediction.
Yeah, we should note to people a big reason why I have 0 preparation is because we did think this was happening.
Yeah.
This is extremely last minute.
It really is. So he comes in with Silverbacks. Honestly, this is actually going to be a cracking game. I don't know who's back.
I don't know.
You know what, I do know. I do know who I'm back in. And
go on.
So
then.
my logic for this, right, is that essentially if you win a 20-0 game, right? Like I was saying, you've got to be able to control the sets even if they're going the full time. If you're coming away every set winning, even if it takes a long time to complete, you're doing something right in sets. And I think that's really hard to overthrow, because that's how you get points. Even if it takes a while to do, if you can control the game and play your game, then I think that's really important. And I think that's going to go into Raptors' favor. And it's not that Silverbacks can't play, so I think Silverbacks generally prefer a bit more of a chaotic game. So it'll be curious to see how the 2 play styles match up. But I'm going to back the Raptors here.
I like the logic. I think it makes a lot of sense. That's why I'm going to go for Silverbacks.
You talk a lot of sense. Now I'm going to poop all over your logic.
No, I'll be honest. I think they're 20-0. I get what you're saying about it, but I think Silverbacks have, from the team sheets I've seen, like in the build up to the league meet, from Silverbacks, they've got a lot of experience in that team, and I think that's what's going to really shine through. Not the Raptors don't, because they've picked up a few good, experienced players over the years. Over the year. But I look at that Silverback squad and I think that's a hell of a squad. That's going to take a lot to beat. And
I think Raptors have
it. I've got Beverson's team sheet on my side, predictions on my side. No, I think it's gonna be a really tight game. Like if there's gonna be if I could predict a draw, this would be one I would be tempted to do it for. But I think Silverbacks will snatch it. And it'll be interesting to see how Raptors deal with a chaotic team go up against them.
Yeah,
definitely. It's always a difficult one to kind of play against if you don't really know what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting to watch.
I think so. Bever's prediction is a single set win to Raptors. It's going to be a close game. So we'll see how that turns out. I think
did the Bever's rating system bottle it with another draw and be like, but if there's going to be a winner, it'll be this one.
No, he did. To be fair, it did predict a 13-11 win. So
really?
We do have a win for Raptors. I
can't wait for the first time that the Bever's rating system predicts like a 30-0. That's the dream.
I mean, so for context on like how we're doing in the actual like overall grand scheme of things, the overall predictions. So at the moment, after week 1.
No. We'll leave that for the end of the podcast.
Okay, fine, end of the podcast. But just know, Bevers's predictions are terrible. So like I would not base like what we're predicting on like they have not been the most reliable. He sent through a load of stats on how unreliable his predictions were. Interesting, but like how massively out some of the results were.
We need to at some point during the season we'll get him on to kind of talk it through and have a bit of a talk about how it's going and stuff like that. That'll be a good like mid-season.
All he wants to say, and it is relevant to this league, is his most accurate prediction was Ronda versus Carmarthen, with it being almost exact. 0.001 difference. Is what he said? Anyway,
you can do 0.001 of a set.
Yeah. Stats say who would do it? Love you, Bev.
Anyway, yes. Please don't start ignoring our DMs.
To be fair, it's nice that he comes and messages us and pokes us and say, "Hey, when are you sorting your stuff out?" It's like we don't know.
We do love him. We do love him for it. Because let's be honest, the three of us are a bit of a disaster.
I mean, if you. Yeah, if you haven't gathered already, we may like have a video podcast and we may have it out and some social media stuff. We're the most disorganized 3 people you'll ever meet. I am going to speak on behalf of Zoe with that as well because we are just an absolute like we'll turn up.
This is where we get blocked on all platforms.
But yeah, we are a bit of a mess. Anyway, right, what do we need to go talk about? We need to go talk about League 3, don't we? So let me bring League 3 up.
I was about to say un numero
trio,
whatever it is, and but it's technically the 4th league we're doing, so that was kind of pointless.
That'll be the wrong picture.
Try again. Shock.
There you go. So again, I was there early enough to actually catch the Saints v Bovines game. Our match to catch last time. It was a good game, but frustrating to watch because it was just like who would balls up the least, essentially. There were times where Saints would have a handle on a game and then they'd throw 2 catches and then Bovines would just be like straight out winning the set. There'll be times where Bovines would be winning and then just line fault. Nothing you can really say about it. It was one of those games where
thing ever.
Like, I mean, it really is. We love you, Bovines. But yeah,
I was sat on the sidelines cheering on Bovines. Like I have no qualms. I love them all to pieces.
Yeah, but it was a bit of a weird game to watch because, like, yeah, it was a case of it wasn't like who didn't want to win. It was just who made the least dumb errors. Which kind of like if you know both the teams.
I think you're playing down how I like Bovines. If if Saints tried to like raise it up, Bovines could have easily started playing a stronger game.
It
I
was a
do
close
think that
game
it was
throughout.
tougher.
If I remember, Bovines saw it out. Like they sort of motored ahead at the end.
I never felt like Bovines were in trouble of losing. I'll be honest.
No, but you never thought Saints were out of it. You know what I mean? Like it was a close-ish game until the
There was
end where
not
Bovines.
there was quite at the start. There was quite a few close sets where it was
Yeah,
like one person, two people.
but
I see where you're coming from,
I
but
think Bovines had like a two-set lead for most of the second half, which
yeah,
like when you're playing dodgeball, two sets can disappear, but it's it's one of those ones. If you stay two sets ahead and then you get another two-set lead, then you're fine, which is basically what happened here, right? If I'm correct, yeah, it's eight, so it's a four-set win in the end. But I think that's basically what happened is that Bovines got like not a comfortable lead, but they had a lead and they held on to it, and then they just pushed it out at the end, which means that Saints were never out of it until literally Bovines came away with the win.
I get where you're coming from, but I just do think that there was never a time Bovines, the players on court anyway, felt that it wasn't going to be theirs.
Yeah, fair.
Like I would that, but that's just a gut feeling for me. You know, obviously other people can say otherwise. I thought Saints have a lot of good players. I think they'll do quite well this season.
They'll do well in this league. I'll be sure.
Especially if you look at Bovine's other result, you can't ask for much better than that.
No. And that's the thing about Bovines. Like last year, if you'd asked me last year who's going to get promoted, I would have said Bovines because I know some of the players that they have, and it is a stupidly stacked squad for just coming into the league. But their problem has always been is finding a sports hall in Sheffield and actually getting regular training times has been too difficult. So as far as I'm aware, it was basically, a post went out and said, right, who wants to play dodgeball this weekend? And then they sorted out a team from that. So it was really hit and miss every week with what their team was like, and I think that showed in the results. Whereas this year
it chopped and changed quite regularly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. It wasn't even the same kind of people that turned up without training, if that makes sense.
So I think they did a good, now they've got a regular training session and snipers have sort of folded into them. I think that's just only going to do them. It's going to go well for them because they've got a regular pool of players to now pick from, like a normal club, to then kick off and actually get a promotion. But yeah, I mean
I said this in the predictions podcast for the first week, and I got. You should shut up right now. You should stop the shit you're talking right now.
Well, no, look. To be fair, it's no. Okay, my defense is that you look at the results that have come out there, and there are still 4 teams that are going to be fighting for promotion. Nighthawks 2.
Oh no, I agree. I completely agree.
Nighthawks 2 and Canterbury Crocs have some solid results there. Especially Canterbury Crocs against Hartlepool. Hartlepool are not a bad side. To win 17-5 against Hartlepool is a big win for Canterbury. So
I completely agree.
With their new kits, maybe they had kits. They have that new kit energy. New kit energy. But yeah, no, it's some big wins there for Crocs. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's just it's going to be a fascinating one to watch whenever Canterbury, Bovines, or Saints or Raptors. Sorry, not Raptors. Nighthawks 2 play each other, because I think that's what it's going to come down to is those 4 teams.
I am. All right. Okay, that actually does make sense. Sorry, I was looking at the leaderboard and I was like, how are Crocodiles on top? Whenever you've got Bovines winning 28-0, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize that was 28-2. I thought it was 22. There's going to be a lot of interesting games, but it does look like it's going to be quite a top 4 versus bottom 4 league. So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of pans out after the halfway point.
Yep.
So every game, so it's basically it's looking like that top 4 versus that bottom 4 is how the season's gonna probably play out. If I was to kind of guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, you could end up seeing like that, the triangle. Well, in this case, a square of results kind of coming out. Yes, I will
But
use shapes as part of my metaphors.
but there's 4 teams. They're going to play each other twice. Does that make it an octagon?
Oh God, go away. Go away. Jesus Christ.
Sliding onto the fixtures for this weekend coming.
Before we hate each other.
Before we hate each other too much. So I mean, again, we're not really seeing any of the top 4 playing each other. We're only seeing one game where some of the top 4 are playing each other, and that's Crocs versus Cows. And that'll be an interesting one. But other than that, I think the only other game to highlight is probably Saints versus Mavericks. Considering Mavericks, I think they came away with 2 losses, but we know they're a solid team, and Saints were a 1 win and a loss. I think that's if Mavericks come out swinging, there's a potential where you could consider an upset where Mavericks managed to pull back a game on Saints and start to form like a mid-table.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think you're going to see.
It's also just very important for Saints. It's going to be very important for Saints to get a win in that.
Yeah.
Because I think the likes of Bovines and Crocodiles will surely be thinking going into that match, we've got this, I would reckon. Whereas Saints might be a little thrown off after the first week results. So it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back and come out with 2 wins. Realign them with top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, to give some context on this league as well, right? Is that last year, a lot of these teams were brand new into the league. So
yeah,
that was the bottom league last year. So when we say there's like definitely a top 4 heavy, that there's often when you get new teams entering a league, there's some teams that are well established, played a while before they enter the National League, and they've got good solid players, but they have to start at the bottom. So there are definitely teams that we could say would be like mid-table League 2, or even potential to go higher, but just haven't because they haven't had the time in the national leagues yet. So it's not a disrespect to the other teams that are towards the bottom of the table.
Not.
I'm not saying that they should definitely get demoted. It's just a case of it's the bias of what happens when you have new teams come in. So, like, the likes of Saints that are brand new this year, they played quite a bit in regional league last year and got some pretty solid results. So I'm not surprised that they're doing all right. And then again, we've seen Bovines and Crocs last year as well, did pretty solid as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did get promoted, hypothetically, that they would be, pretty solid teams in that league as well. So it's just going to take time to for the leagues to balance out.
Oh, it's going to take a lot of years. Like, all it takes is for 1 or 2 clubs to end up setting up another club not too far away and stuff like that. And loads of those kind of moments that we've seen in the past couple of years, even before COVID and stuff like that. All it takes is 1 or 2 key players to set up a new club elsewhere, and have to rebalance the leagues again. That's just the way Dodgeball's going to be for the next 5 years plus, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's the sign that leagues growing, Dodgeball's growing. But it's just it's one of those things that a lot of new players and a lot of new clubs are going to have to deal with the teething issues of fighting in leagues that are arguably more difficult than the league above them. Just because of the way it's been set up and how long it takes for it to settle out. Which it is what it is. So we're going on to our match to catch, which is Crocs versus Bovines. Top four game.
Top 2.
Top 2. Ooh, top 2, spicy. Okay.
Sorry.
No. Oh, God, get out.
Yes. Thank you.
Zoe's supporting the Moo so
she just wants to sing the chants with us again. Honestly, me and Sam are getting in the Christmas spirit, but he came up with an absolute clinker of Christmas time, mistletoe, bovines. Fantastic, made my day. It was quality, mate.
Yeah, I'd say keep that to yourself because I'm not in the Christmas spirit.
No, either am I. But even I enjoyed it. I thought it was clever. It was clever.
It was smart.
We will sing that for the entire time of Bovines playing in that pre-Christmas meet on the 18th of December. 100%.
They're not there, mate. It's an 18.
Is that the one they're missing?
Yeah, they're missing that one.
Oh, I didn't know it was that one. That's so disappointing. All right, we're gonna have to do
So this
time
is going to be the most festive league meet for League Three.
This is their free Christmas.
This is
I'll
the
bring the
Christmas.
your birthday.
This is the Christmas cracker match. I just leave. I genuinely don't know who to pick. I back Bovines. They're a great squad. But
Kiss ass.
I remember reffing League Two last year. League Three last year, and Crocs are just a consistent team. And I think they've gotten even better this year. Obviously with their women's team as well, which we'll get onto. Their women's team were great. I think for that reason, I'm going to go for Crocs. Yeah, that's my prediction. I'm going Crocs.
Sport. 2 seconds ago, you said you're going Bovines.
I'm in control of the buttons, mate. I'm allowed to flip flop. You're not.
I'm the button boy.
What says what was it? Dave that said he was helping doing the buttons for the BD stream.
Go on, Dave.
Yes, you press them buttons.
I'll press your buttons one day, sir. Sorry. Shouldn't say that. He's now engaged. Congratulations, by the way. If he ever hears this. I'm just stalling because
it's a really difficult game to predict. Like, no jokes.
I think Bovines.
You're going Bovines.
It's probably going to be very tight, but I looked at how they played against Saints, and I just thought they do so much dumb stuff, but like whenever they really turn it on, they turn it on. Like, but if they have that like a core squad in every meet, I could see them beating everybody, to be perfectly honest.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how chop and change is going to be compared to last year. I know like they've got the regular session with sniper stuff like that, but there's always that thing about chopping and changing teams. And if you do that at this level, you're probably going to see a few upsets. But yeah, I'm back in Bovines. I'll be mooing from the sidelines, cheering them on.
Fair enough. You'll be singing.
Being told to shut the hell up.
Yeah. Bevers has got Crocs winning. Wait, no, he doesn't.
I was gonna say.
No, he doesn't.
I would be shocked by that.
Nick, shut up. Nick's got it wrong. Sorry, Bevers. I'm not trying to throw your stuff into chaos. So, it's the way they're written. It's the way they're written. He's got a 14-10 win to the Cows, as he calls them. Yeah. Moving on. No, that's a terrible thing. So I got to reset this anyway. But yeah, I think that's going to be a real good game. I'm splitting hairs trying to predict that one. So I just kind of like that was a coin flip for me. I am going to try and watch that. Oh wait, are they in the evening slot? No, they're not. No, they're in the afternoon.
I can't remember how it worked out.
Yeah, they're not in the evening slot. I think they're in the afternoon slot. So I'll definitely.
Yeah, because Women's League One's with Super League in the evening, so that means it'll be this league and Women's Super League at the same time, right?
I'll try. And watch it.
I might be commentating. Oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sad times.
I'll stop my waffling while Nick gets the shit together.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Oh, I know what we're talking about. We're doing very, 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 very briefly. We were just going to mention Men's League 4. Oh, yeah, Men's League 4. I don't actually have any of the results up because I didn't do a graphic for it yet. All I know is that... He doesn't
care about you.
It's not true. I have a team involved in it. They didn't do very well, unfortunately, but hey.
Yeah. So I messaged Spike. Spike was confident and said he'd retire if they didn't win a game.
So yeah, that happened. Yeah. So what else did I say? Spartans. Like the only feedback I got about this league is that there are definitely some stronger teams then appeared. Chippenham looking really strong, and Spartans 3 looking really strong. So it'd be interesting to see how they play. And apparently, just a lot of strong wing play. Maybe less catching, but a lot more counters and pressing up the court and really making it tough to do organised throws if you've got the majority of the ball. So
Did you
interesting
get
start.
feedback on if that's wall to wall out of interest?
It is wall to wall, but it's not.
Ooh, that's
Um,
intriguing.
it's not. So when we say, so to our listeners, when we say wall to wall, we're talking about how far away the ball is from the back of the court. So in this case, you don't start on court because it's that small. So it's not wall to wall in that sense. There is a meter gap between, or just under a meter gap between the back line and the wall. So there is a gap, but it's not very big. So it's essentially wall to wall in how you're playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not an actual wall to wall court like mixed is.
Well, it's so interesting because like stuff like ball retrieving is so important in how a match plays out. Like ball possession is so key, like
Yeah,
even more so than kind of your more open court. But yeah, that it would be interesting to see some of the results that come out of that. I would love to. I'd love to see like some footage of a few of the teams. So please send cameras down with them if you hear us. It's purely to watch some of it. It's inconvenient to make comments on teams that you can't see anything
yeah,
about.
definitely.
But
But
it's also just nice to see a lot of teams that have like second, third teams being created. To shows the expansion of the league.
big, big up the Barn Owls.
Big
Love
up
to see
the
it.
Barn Owls.
Big up Mustangs having a second and third team as well. Really great to see.
It's impressive, to be fair.
That is very impressive.
How many teams actually have like third teams? Like what you've got Bees,
Storm,
Storms,
Bees, Spartans, Cov.
Silverbacks have a third one in that league
Yeah,
as well.
Cov, the Mustangs.
Mustangs. Actually, that's more than I thought off the top of my
That's
head.
five. But like what?
Five, yeah.
Three of them are Midlands based, and then you got the biggest team in the north and the biggest team in the south, really.
The North.
The north.
Winter's coming.
But yeah, some big games there. You've got Spartans versus Chippenham. That's going to be a big game. I
Yeah.
think Swords versus Spartans 2 as well. Spartans 3 is going to be a big game as well. Just to see how they do. Which just for the sake of completeness, we do actually have a match to catch for that.
Please, somebody record this.
What do you mean? Why?
It's not. Well, because I just want to watch. I like watching Dodgeball.
Oh,
like
right. Sorry, I thought you were like record the podcast. I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? What would it like? How awkward it'd be right now if I just said, by the way, didn't record. L's in the chat.
Well, to be fair, this was a genuine discussion we had before this started. It's not like that wasn't a potential discussion. It's one of the reasons why we potentially didn't do the podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
I used to be missing out on all these fantastic references because Nick's internet company stinks. Internet service provider, I should say.
It's BT. I'll call them out. It's BT. It's their fault.
That's that sponsorship gone forever.
Yep,
you
yeah.
know. But,
Well,
it,
I
Nick.
mean, just sort their internet fiber out. If they sort their fiber out, that's no problem.
It's all about hyperoptica anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Zoe's got Spartans winning that game. Who are you predicting?
Yeah, I think Spartans as well, to be honest.
Spartans? Oh wow, okay, all right, fair enough. That means I actually have to think about who I'm predicting.
You don't have to do that, you silly.
Well, I'm currently losing.
Who actually thinks on this podcast?
Yeah, that's very valid point.
My chair is currently slipping away from me.
YOLO, I know so much about Dodgeball. I'm gonna just go Chippenham. Bring it.
What does the Bevers rating system say?
The Bevers rating system. We need to just make that a longer word each and every time, just like
the Bevers rating system.
Yeah, he's also
The
got
one and only Bever's rating system. I'll work on it.
yeah, the Bevis analytical data induced algorithmic rating system.
Jeez, that does it. Well, we've hit our peak already.
Yeah, we absolutely nailed it.
Axe that idea. Anyway, Chip and Chargers. Well done, Bevers.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Your
A
stat
big,
sheet
to be fair, a big win
showed
he's
a number.
predicting. He's predicting Chippenham 16,
Really?
yeah, 16-8. This might be down to the amount of data he has on Spartans 3.
I genuinely don't know if it like, because obviously new league, so new team. But I genuinely
Well,
don't know if
Chippenham
they've
have played
played
in the
any opens and
Southwest,
stuff.
so they played the Southwest League, haven't they?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's predictions for those ones. Is there anything else to cover on that one? I mean, yeah, it's going to be a difficult league for anyone who's playing in it, apart from the fact that they have nice short league meets. That's
I thought you were saying nice shorts, and I was like, what?
Yeah, because
that would be a low comment.
Oh, if you can't tell, we're getting tired. No, wrong thing.
That's definitely the tiredness showing.
Yeah. Right, what are we talking about now? Oh, we're on to Women's Super League now. Jeez. God, this is going on for ages. Right, so we've got week 1 results. Women's Super
Scroll
League
to the
results.
top of the league tables.
Yep, all the way back to the top. Big games. Who did we have for our match to catch? I can't even remember what our match to catch was. Oh, it was EAV versus Derby, wasn't it?
Yes, which I
Boy,
believe.
did that turn out to be one-sided in the end.
We picked the wrong EAV game.
Yeah, we did indeed. Oh my days. I think they were struggling for players though, from what I understand. They had 6. They only had 6, I think. So
I genuinely have no idea on that front. I'll be honest. I didn't get a chance to speak to any of them. Yeah, some interesting results. For me, I'm gonna big up the Queens here. I want to say that Emily Walker has done a fantastic job with the Queens tactics wise. She's like made a few adjustments to lineups and stuff like that. And considering, and I love the Queens, love a lot of them are very close friends of mine. By God, they couldn't make a hit whenever they were throwing 2 balls, whenever they had 3. And they still have very poor accuracy, but the 2-ball game they had was phenomenal. Like, so good. So to walk away with 2 victories, honestly, all the credit in the world to her and the girls for working their asses off that day. Because I was in the box for them, and I was at times quite worried because, like I said, they were struggling to make the hits whenever they had 3 balls. But they turned it around. And yeah, very, very big results because they didn't get that many wins last year. They had a couple of draws. They didn't have that many wins. So to get 2 off the bat is huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, and I didn't get to see much, they just seemed like, compared to last year, they were moving a bit more as a unit. So, when they were going up and down court and covering each other, they were moving more as one rather than, like individuals doing things, and you have like a lagging player trying to retreat or whatever. So it seemed a bit more better in. Maybe I don't know if it's communication or just experience playing together or whatever it was, but I think
the wingers were definitely more aggressive than last year. They tended to do the sit back a bit more last year compared to now. That's just purely my opinion, by the way. Whereas I felt watching them from the box this time is that whenever, especially on the 2-ball call, like the 2-ball calls, they were up court putting pressure on them from the get go, which put them off whenever trying to come and attack them. And the girls were surviving a lot more. And like you kind of mentioned, communication as well was a lot better between them on the day. The best I've seen them play, since coming back from COVID. So having watched it in training myself, Emily's done a really good job trying to iron out a lot of the issues they had last year.
Yeah, fair. They were the closest games other than the Valkyries versus Rangers game. I mean, fair play for Valkyries to hold on to that win after pretty torrid time against Phantoms earlier. But ones I
Mhm.
do like a team or a match that I want to sort of mention is Storm because when in the sort of preview episode we sort of looked at Storm and we were like we don't really know how it's going to go with the fact that they've had a few players leave from Storm One and their Storm Twos then got promoted into Super League, so we were just not really sure how it's going to go. We saw the team sheets and I think initially we were like, okay, interesting. And a very strong seconds team, at least from our experience, because
Mhm.
between three of us, we know quite a few of those players. Um,
Couple of international players in the squad as well.
yeah, exactly. So we were sort of thinking, how's this going to play out? Because there's the potential that the seconds look potentially stronger than the first
Hmm.
in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But boy, did they prove us wrong in the game in the end. 75 win to the first team is a solid win. I was speaking to a couple of them afterwards and saying that maybe the seconds didn't take advantage of knowing how the first played a bit more, so didn't really like look at them as players that they play out in training, but looked at them as just opposition, and sort of forgot what you know about them. Which is, it's a difficult time when you're playing your first or second because there's always a risk that happens. Is that someone exploits a weakness that they're aware of, and it just tips the balance. So, um, fair play to Storm One, who, to be fair, played well. Like to close loss to Bees. Storm Two had a bit of a rough time because they had to play Beagles later. But um, other than that, yeah, some very one-sided scores all over the place. Really
I
makes it
was I
interesting.
was I was shocked. I was shocked because of how tight it was last year that there was this many big results. I think we also need to. Raptors had a bit of a tough time introduced to the league against Derby and Spartans, which to be fair are two stronger teams in the league. So I wouldn't. You don't necessarily have to take too much out of that. Um, yeah, I'm also very curious to see the um, Rangers Valkyries game. 13-11 is very, very interesting scoreline, as you can imagine. And Beagles were very dominant as always, as we kind of predicted. Uh, so yeah, it's a league that will be interesting to see how it plays out after a couple of meets to see how tight the league table is. Wow,
Yep.
I didn't realize Spartans won by so much. 34 scores, like set difference after one meet. That's incredible.
Well, they kind of trounced. Who did they play? They played Raptors and Sheriffs, was it? I can't remember. But yeah, the big wins. I think people are already roughly where we expected them to be, with kind of what we were saying before.
After one meet,
Yeah,
you
no,
wouldn't
no, I
expect
know,
them to
but
be
I think,
too.
but also it was one of those ones where the league meets, like basically the fixtures lined up with what we were predicting anyway, right? So,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
it kind of looks in our favor. It's then a case of who can cause the upsets going forward, right? The strong teams get off to a strong start as we kind of expect, but when they start playing each other, then how does the dust settle on it all? I would say I do feel like the league is missing Wessex. After some of the fights that they put up last year, I think there's you know it would be good to see them back in it, and see some results from them and see how they sort of throw things around because they were one of those teams that definitely had an impact last year on some of the
So
results.
who doesn't fit in the league then?
Who doesn't fit in the league? Well, Storm Twos because we can't have seconds teams in the in the
Oh,
Super
you
League.
hate it. You hate it so much.
I,
Honestly, never seen something like trigger you as much as like second teams being in the same league as the firsts.
no, it's not the same league as the first. It's the fact that it's in Super League. Like, if this is meant to be, what other sport do you see second teams in the top flight? You don't.
Well, what other like? There's not too many sports where like second teams would be in this theoretically the same system as the first teams. To be fair,
I think they are. Like, I think hockey and
is
rugby
there?
do. Yeah, they do. They're just not that
Right,
good.
goes for sports I don't watch that don't exist.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, I think they
Actually,
like.
fair, I don't know about how rugby. I'll watch limited rugby. I'll be perfectly honest. I
I
usually
think
watch just the
when
international
it
stuff.
when it comes to like the Premiership teams, basically they have a professional club and then a amateur club. So an amateur club associated with it. So um, even though it's not the same team, the amateur club is essentially a feeder into the.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Anyway, back to Dodgeball.
Yeah,
I was just curious
back
for
to
a second.
Dodgeball. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see how it goes on. Obviously I've missed Valkyrie's loss off there as well. But it's yeah, I think Valkyries are going to be an interesting one going forward. They do have a regular training session now. It's going to be interesting to see if they manage to get any more players towards them. I know that they've got some coming this weekend, so hopefully we'll see Valkyries start to pick it up. Um, but as for the other teams, I mean, yeah, like I said, we'll see how I guess the dust settles after they start playing each other. And on to that, Women's Super League fixtures week 2.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah.
Storm Derby will be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a couple. Like, if Valkyries have a stronger team, Beagles Valkyries could be a good game. Beagles Spartans, I mean, heavyweights. And then again, Sheriffs against Valkyries. If Valkyries don't bring us as strong a team, and Sheriffs get over some of I think they had a bit of an illness going around, which meant that they couldn't bring some players. I think if they bring their full team, then that could be a really hot game.
The illness being fear.
Say that to Cat's face.
I'll give her a hug. I'll give her a hug afterwards.
Yeah. Not really any hot takes to say here. We're gonna have to see how some of the results come out to really know where the teams are at. We know Derby started off strong last year and they've started off strong again this year, so we'll see if that trend carries on or whether, like it felt like someone was saying last year, is that they got found out. We'll see. Beagles also looking strong as well, and again with their new signings over the summer, we'd sort of expect that. I think over some of the rotations they got. But yeah, any other thoughts before we go on to match to catch?
No, I just think there's going to be a lot of good games. It's going to be a really tight league, so I'm very curious to see how everything plays out, because I think after this league meet, there's a few fixtures there that kind of help you have a better image of the league in your head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching a few games. To be
like
fair.
Raptors Sheriffs as well will be another one to sort of see where that one ends up as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's a difficult one because of how close it was last year, with some new teams coming up as well, and Women's League One also being the floor of the system. It's difficult, like we were saying about Men's League 3 and 4. It's difficult to know how good is good for the teams getting promoted, because they'll put some big scores on other teams, but it may just be because they're new, they're not experienced, and those scores look good, or it might be they're actually that good. So we sort of need to see how this league develops a bit more to really have something to say on it. But yeah, something we do have to say on is our match to catch. But yeah, were you going to say anything else? Sorry.
I was going to start doing a jingle, but then it just kind of disappeared in my head halfway through. So
ignore that then.
If any genuine request, if anybody makes up a wee jingle for Match to Catch, I will sing to it, and it'll become the best thing about the show, guaranteed.
Yeah, if
I said so.
If you do, we'll play it while Nick sorts out the graphics, and then the other two will carry on dancing to it because they love dancing to it, apparently.
Because if Zoe's not here, I don't know who I've nobody to have backing me up and taking the piss out of Nick, which is an issue about it. Honestly, there's not enough. I think Nick's getting away quite lightly this episode. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I am well aware of it. So Zoe's gone Spartans. Big call.
She hasn't transferred for. Yeah, I could see I could see a Spartans win. However, I think with the signings Bedford Eagles have made, I definitely am gonna sweat in earth favor this time round. But this is the one I'd be least shocked if I got it wrong.
This is the one that you think you'd be least shocked about, really?
If I got it wrong, yeah.
I think there were some others.
Maybe, but well, he says as he's back in Bedford. No, I really like how Spartans play in the Women's Super League. Very aggressive, very in your face. I could see that potentially like disrupting Bedford's style of play if they're given the opportunities. But with the experience Bedford has, I think that'll see them through. They're very good at like playing that controlled game, very smart decisions. They don't really go rogue. They don't really go off script, but people still really struggle to beat them. They were very worthy champions in the end. So I'm backing them, but I also think Spartans have it in them to come out with a victory for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Spartans definitely do. The reason I back Bedford White Eagles is like what we were saying on the preview podcast is that I'd like to clarify my statement. I did say they're like the Patriots of dodgeball. They're like the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Patriots of dodgeball, in the sense that like that era, you can't rule them out until they start losing. And in that sense, until I see this Eagles team lose, I'm going to be predicting them winners. Like I think it's really difficult to predict against them. They are a solid unit of a team, and I think the results last time proved it. But yeah, that's
How big did Bever's rating system, the Brainiac system, um, predict the win?
tell you what, have a guess, have a guess because it might surprise you. To be fair, no, no, no.
You put me on the spot. I reckon by it's either going to be 2 or 3 sets. I think 3 sets. I'm going to go 3 sets win for Beagles. Bedford, sorry.
Yeah, bang on, bang on. Absolutely nailed it. A 15-9 win to the Eagles he's got with a 68% win chance. So I think the results back that up as well. I think it is going to be a Eagles win. I don't think it's going to be comfortable, not by a long shot. 15-9 makes it look like a comfortable win. I don't think it's going to be comfortable. I think it's going to be like a tooth and nail fight to the end. But it's going to be,
definitely.
There's a reason we call it our match to catch. It's going to be a great watch. Hey,
somebody sponsor us.
Please. Right. So moving on to our final league to discuss. It's only taken us 2 hours to get there.
Yeah, I can no. We can no longer say it was Zoe was the issue. It's definitely you, mate.
Definitely me.
Confirmed. And it turns out it means Zoe did it's like 3.5 hours long instead. Anyway, League One results.
16-4, 16-4, 16-4.
I noticed that, followed by 12-10. Very tight result.
Yeah.
16-6. Oh, you ruined the trend. Oh, could you imagine if 4 results in one court were the exact same ones? That would have been sick.
Yeah. We had 14-8s on the other court as well, but nearly.
It was the same side as well. Oh,
nearly 3 because you had 12-8. You had 12-8. If Leeds women had done a bit of a better job of beating Derby 2s, if
I should fade that back to Jess. Yeah, well, that goes a bit.
If you could just beat them by one more set, just for the symmetry of it all,
God damn you! Might as well just disband the Leeds women's team now.
No, they're good. I back them.
Well, obviously, he came out with 2 wins on their return. That's no easy feat.
Two teams that could easily have tripped them up. Like I back our women. I think they're pretty good. After coming second at the season opener, I was curious to see how they'd fare over a longer match. It seems like they're doing all right. They're holding on for good wins. When I looked over against the because I was refereeing the other court, when I looked over in the Mavericks Leeds game, it was I think 8-all when I saw. So pretty close games, both of them. I thought they would win them handedly, to be honest, but they didn't. So Mavericks and Phantoms too showing their mettle there. But then I'm proud of the Leeds team for properly getting 2 wins or getting up on the leaderboard as one of the 3 teams that have won 2 games. But yeah. The only other thing I can say is so the the Wessex Spartans 2 game, which was our match to catch, and I was the only person to back Wessex because this is one that Bevs didn't have any data on Spartans 2, so couldn't say anything. They played really well, but one thing I will say is that almost all those sets went to time as well. There were a couple of times that Wessex got like the Spartans did some stupid stuff, threw away too many singles, left players exposed. That obviously Wessex then just absolutely terrorized those players that were up court for too long. Really well played by Wessex, but the rest of them quite frequently went to time, and we were having to count number of players and stuff to really evaluate it. So it's not the Spartans 2 played well, it's just Wessex were sound. They're a solid squad, definitely potentially looking at Super League material there as well. So well played to them.
Yeah, and there was a big caveat we made whenever we were kind of making those predictions with Spartans too, is that if they have everybody available and they have to drop some of their stronger players down to the seconds, automatically become a really, really strong team.
Yeah.
So that again, all they need is like one or two players to have to drop down to the second teams, and that they could beat majority of teams in that league. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they kind of pan out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, one thing I will say is Spartans 2, massive respect for turning up in Warwick uni kit. Absolutely love that.
I forgot about that.
Absolutely love that. It's just brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Show your roots, show where you come from, show your affiliation, because most big clubs have a uni feeder team. We are all well aware of that, and I think it's no secret that Spartans get a lot of their players from Warwick, even if they're still playing at Warwick. So yeah, no, really.
To be fair, I think they tried to get Spartans kit. There just wasn't enough.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but it was quite funny when reffing to see. Oh, Warwick are playing. Wait, no.
Oh, did you ref that game?
Yeah.
Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Also, Wessex. I've arbitrarily assigned you the navy blue. You changed your kit too late, so I'm not changing it to black now. You're just stuck with that for the rest of the league. Next year, you'll be able to get the black and gold.
Oh, I can't wait for them to change back.
After being called out for being completely unoriginal by copying Uni of Sheffield.
That was quality.
I felt
strikes again.
I felt so bad because I was when I was reffing, like Wessex didn't turn up on time to the court, and I was like, I wonder where they are. I think Kelly turns
right in
up
front of you the entire time.
Yeah, pretty much. Kelly turns up, and I was like, where's Wessex? Like, we're here, and I was like, are you alone? Because they had the new kit. I thought it might be a training top, but like not an actual kit top.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, they're all here. And then I look over, and there's just like a swarm of black kits coming over, and I'm like, oh, I genuinely thought that was a Sheffield top. So I was just like, well, there's me looking like a mug. Oh, and practice time starts now. But
oh my god, brilliant.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, I do want to give a shout out to both Canterbury Crocs and White Tigers, completely different reasons. But Canterbury Crocs, firstly putting out a women's team in their second year in nationals, really great to see, and a pretty solid team. They played really well when I was reffing them. It was just, it's good to see them. And also White Tigers, big wins after such a rough time in Super League last year. Coming down and getting some absolutely smashing wins like that must feel good for them. And yeah, great to see. So great to see White Tigers on the rebound as well. And also Hartlepool getting a win over Nighthawks, because I think Nighthawks were one of those ones that just missed out on promotion last year. So yeah, they did. I think that is a big win for Hartlepool. It raises question marks for me on how good Nighthawks are going to be this year. Because if Leeds are beating Hartlepool like that, and then Hartlepool are beating Nighthawks by the same amount, Leeds versus Wessex and White Tigers is already going to be interesting when they come up that top three. Nighthawks have got some serious catching up to do after that loss. Yeah,
I agree. I'm also quite interested now to see how White Tigers do come up against the likes of Wessex Wolves. Should be a good game, that one, whenever it happens.
Yeah.
If they keep that form rolling.
If they do indeed, then I need to find. Women's League One table. Let's see how that looks at the moment with White Tigers on top. Three teams, sorry, undefeated at top at the moment. And yeah,
Woo.
Nighthawks and Crocs just slightly behind after their win and loss. But yeah, we'll see how Nighthawks do because they losing to Hartlepool, I think, will really have stumped them. But yeah, we'll have to see going forward how they do against the rest of the league.
Yes, sir.
Right. Moving swiftly on to fixtures for this week. Ta-da. Yeah. Crocs versus Spartans 2, going to be big games.
I genuinely did not realize that Wessex and White Tigers were playing this weekend.
No, none of us did. Is that?
I'm really good at my job.
It's our match to catch as well. So we definitely bearing in mind you and me are the ones who voted on match to catch this week.
I could not remember
Me
at
neither,
all.
man.
I could not remember.
It's been a busy week.
I've just honest, yeah, bread fried. But anyway, big games. I think Crocs versus Spartans 2 could be a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking those last 3 games on court 4 could be pretty big.
Yeah, very tasty, very tasty. I'm just actually, you know what? Actually, could be a very good one is Norwich and Leeds.
Yeah, I think that's gonna
I
really test
think it's
Leeds.
big. Yeah, exactly. I think if you can walk away with a win from that, that'll be huge momentum for you going forward. I reckon. It'll be interesting to see how Norwich would bounce back from that. Yeah.
After beating Hartlepool as well, and Hartlepool beating Norwich,
Exactly.
you got to be feeling confident going in. But at the same time, like you'd never know in these events. You got to play the game in front of you, and it's very possible that Norwich were missing a few players, and they're going to be back this time, and they're going to be looking strong. So, take the wins as you can. Don't take anything for granted. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it falls out because from this, Wessex I think are going to beat Sheriffs too. Who else are at the top of the table? White Tigers. White Tigers against Hartlepool. You'd back White Tigers to win as well. So bearing in mind Leeds and Norwich are currently 3rd and 4th in the league, you'd look at that and say that's a big game to see who falls out. And then because the other 2 teams that are on 2 wins are playing each other, you're going to see some movement there as well. So the current top 3 could look very different come Monday.
Yeah, it's very important that game, which is why it is our match to catch. It doesn't sound as good as my accent. I can't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. This is why we need the 3 of us because then at least you 2 can talk while I sort stuff out.
Is this where you want me to start coming up with the jingle on the spot again? Match to catch, match to catch. I was trying to blankly blank for a moment, but that really didn't work out in my head.
Makes me so uncomfortable. Anyway, there we go. Right, Wessex versus White Tigers. Here we go. Right, starting with Zoe.
I don't want to be here anymore.
I'm so tired.
Don't want to be here anymore.
Look, the lengths we go to make sure you get content before the beginning of the year. I traveled to Manchester last time, and this time, we're absolutely winging it. So it's
Well, look at me! I made a trip to see my friends and talk about dodgeball. God damn you! Oh, look at me! I stayed up at 4 a.m. to do audio for a podcast for people to listen to.
Anyway, yeah, Wessex win for Zoe. I'm going to back Wessex again because they backed me up last time. They played really well. I think they are a Super League contending team and a genuinely good team as well. So I'd like to see them do that. But then, recency bias. I saw Wessex. I didn't get to see White Tigers. I didn't get to see how well White Tigers played. So, please don't hate me, White Tigers, if I'm choosing Wessex. But I'm going to choose Wessex this time. I saw them play and they played well.
Does this mean I have to risk the wrath of Wessex by saying White Tigers?
Only if you back them.
I really don't know where to go for this one. My head says that with the experience that Wessex has, versus what I've seen White Tigers have, that they'll probably take it. But coming out that strong in your first meet, that's going to create some sort of big momentum in your favor. Top of the league. Ah, screw it. Let's go White Tigers. Let's throw a bit of fire into the mix.
All right, what does Bevis say?
The Bevis rating system
the-
is calculating,
Please hold.
processing.
There you go. Bevis has got a close-ish game, of 14-10 win to Wolves over Tigers. I reckon he's like it's going to be biased based off the matches from season last year, because they played each other in the Super League, and Wolves finished above Wessex. Sorry, Wessex. Sorry, Wolves finished above White Tigers. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'll see how that pans out.
He just said that.
Yeah, I know. Oh dear.
Right. Anyway, so how did the Bever system hold up for the entire weekend versus the rest of us, Nick?
Oh God, how did it do?
Do we actually have that like data present at the moment?
We do. So just for context, of the seven matches we predicted.
Yeah, it's seven.
Seven matches we predicted. Bevers could only predict 6 because he didn't have data for Spartans women 2. So yeah, that's where that one's at. So Bevers' stats, and just showing you how predictable Dodgeball is. He got a grand total of 2 out of 6, right? So that shows you that there's a 33% chance he might get something right. So us being on the same side as Bevers does not actually bode well for our predictions going forward.
To be fair, surely like with his stats, that he should be getting like half of them right. So it's a feeling system. Get your shit together, Bevers. Come on, man.
Myself and Colm are both on 4 4. So
let's go.
Yeah, I think I got the. Which ones did I get? I got the Bees Leeds game wrong. Obviously. And the other game, I got Valkyries wrong. Valkyries wrong in the Super League.
I think I got that wrong. I can't remember what my other one I got wrong was.
Yeah, you backed Spartans to beat Wessex in the women's.
Oh, yeah. I don't know women's dodgeball. Funny enough.
And then Zoe, I actually think this is totals out of 6. I don't think it's out of 7.
Yeah, agree. You didn't.
I didn't count League 4 because I didn't count League 4 because they haven't played yet when I added these up. So so Zoe only got 1 wrong, which was the Spartans.
All right, Zoe knows ball.
Zoe knows ball.
We learned this from bloody Euros predictions. Zoe knows ball better than us. Like,
yeah,
I'm not even shocked.
Yeah,
she's smart.
We know Jackal.
We exist.
We turn up, okay? We turn up. It's probably about time to close out the show because we're losing our marbles here. So yeah, anyway.
Some of the jobs.
Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and we hope to give you some entertainment. Well, whatever you're doing, whether it's afternoon or on the way to league. If you are on the way to league, say hi to us while we're down there. We're friendly enough. Yeah. But yeah, go follow our social medias and like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. We're only 60%. No, sorry, 40%. I got it the wrong way around. 40% have subscribed, 60% are not subscribed that are watching. So I mean, come on, guys. Like, if all of you subscribed, then we should be up to like 300 plus subs by now. So get on it, smash that subscribe
after that comment. I don't blame you for not subscribing. He's just not a pro. Like it's a shambles.
Take it away, Colm. Give us a jingle. Go on. Like, tell it.
Catch. And
on that absolute travesty, see you at league. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.